Right here, I have a high-end case from MSI that was launched earlier this year, the Prospect 700R. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, I really didn't expect anything special when the box came in. I thought it's just going to be yet another over-the-top branded case with a bunch of dragons or red details or, something like that. But it actually turned out to be one of my favorite cases that I've worked with in recent years, and I really hope that you guys will agree with me on that one at the end of this video. So let's see what they put together here. Let's see how this case performs, what are the things that I really like and what can still be improved. And even though this video is not sponsored by MSI in any possible way, they did offer to send a few more parts to make this complete build and then to give it away to one of you guys. So if you want a chance to win this whole PC, make sure you stay to the end of this video. So let's begin. The Prospect 700R is positioned as a high-end case and it is meant for high-end components, so as you would expect, it is pretty large. It is 59 centimeters tall, 54 centimeters deep, and 26 centimeters wide, which makes it a bit bigger than your typical ATX case would be and more in line with cases like the Corsair 7000D. But it is not as extreme and as heavy as some cases like the HAF 700 EVO or the Cosmos, for example. Design is always a subjective thing, but I do personally like it. I think it looks just unique enough without going too far over the top. But more importantly, it is really well built. The chassis is metal, the panels are metal, the tempered glass side is nicely reinforced, the hinges are really sturdy, and there is very few plastic parts that I can see. Everything fits together nicely, and the finish is excellent with no rough edges, no gaps or other inconsistencies. They've also added a touch screen at the front that you can use to display all kinds of things like temperatures, for example, but you can also use it to easily control the fan speed, RGB effects, and so on. Plus, it works well, it is very responsive, and it is pretty quick. The case has doors on both sides that are held by this click mechanism that I really like. It's been used on a lot of Cooler Master cases and I think it works just great. The hinges are also nicely offset, so you can easily put the doors back if you take them off, and then you just click them back in position. That's it. The main compartment is kept very clean. There's the usual PSU cover, and there is a nice clean panel on the right side. They also include two more brackets for that right side, one that lets you move the grommets a little bit further so you can keep an extended ATX build look as clean as this one, and one that lets you install more fans on that side instead. I also really like the vertical GPU mount solution for this case. It puts the GPU closer to the motherboard than most cases do, which gives even a very large GPU like this 4080 Supreme, for example, plenty of space to breathe. Also, the bracket is easily screwed in without having to remove the back panel, and the GPU riser that you have to purchase separately is then screwed onto the bracket using 3 screws on each side. So everything sits nice and sturdy together, offering a very good support to even the heaviest of GPUs out there. I do wish they included the actual riser cable with the case, especially since this is a high-end position product, but as I said, for now, you will have to buy it separately. Now, the case comes with 440mm addressable RGB fans, with 3 of them in the front and 1 in the back. There's space for another 3 fans up top and 3 more for a theoretical total of 10 if you use the side fan bracket. In the back, there's a fan hub and an RGB hub, and there's plenty of space for cable management, as you can see. The dust filters are everywhere on the front, top, bottom, and side panels, and all of them are very fine and held in very sturdy frames. My only gripe here is that the bottom filter cannot be reached from the front, so you will have to move this rather large and heavy case to be able to clean it. But let's see the build I have in here. So as I said before, the GPU is the MSI GeForce RTX 4080 Supreme X. It is a very large 33.6 centimeter long card that is over 3 slots thick, yet in this case it somehow feels size appropriate. For the motherboard, I have the MSI Z790 Carbon Wi-Fi with an i9-13900KF CPU. It is cooled by the MSI Core Liquid 360R V2 water cooler, and for the memory, I have 32 GB of Kingston Fury Beast DDR5 6000. For storage, I used a 2TB MSI M461, and all of this is powered by MSI's AI 1300P power supply. It also nicely fits in the space below the PSU shroud, although I did remove the hard drive cage to make a bit more space for cables. I also want to add that this has been one of the easiest builds I've made in recent years. Having plenty of space helps, but they really paid attention to details. I mean, cable management was a breeze, there isn't a sharp edge anywhere on or in the case, and having the hubs to connect everything to helps a lot as well. So they clearly spent a lot of time on all the details of the case, which cannot really be said for the manual and the included screws. So the manual is very generic and it kind of feels at least 10 years old. And most importantly, it doesn't really help with anything. It doesn't even say what parts are included, what are they for, and how to use them. And all the screws are just tossed in one bag with no labels at all. So you have no idea which screws to use for your motherboard and which for hard drives and so on. And I mean, it was completely fine for me because this is not my first rodeo, but if you're building a PC for a very first time, this will be very confusing and very frustrating. So a small thing to complain about, but I think it's a very important one. But let's see how this case actually performs. So in games, with the fans limited to 40 decibels at a 50 centimeter distance, the GPU itself was only running at 59 degrees with a hotspot of 69 degrees and the memory at 64 degrees, which is far away from its thermal limits. The CPU was also running nice and cool, but it is only using about 120 watts while gaming, so that was also kinda expected. Other temps looked great as well, so the case is doing its job very well. In a CPU-only workload, however, the i9-3900KF does get pretty hot, even under a 316mm all-in-one cooler, working at full speed, which does generate a bit more noise. Now, this is also expected with these CPUs, and it is more about the cooler at this moment than the case itself, but it is within limits and it is not hotter than it would be in any other case. So overall, I really do think MSI has done a great job here. I think it's a beautiful case, that it is really well built, it is really easy to work with and build a system in it, and most importantly, it performs well. But just like a lot of other high-end cases from other brands, it is very expensive. So currently, it is selling for 370 euros here in the Netherlands or $350 in the US, which is a lot of money, and it is a lot more than anyone realistically needs to spend on any case, to be honest. That means it goes up against cases like the Cooler Master HAF 700, the Corsair 5000T, or other extreme options like the ROG Helios from ASUS, for example. But I also kind of think it belongs next to these cases, and it really holds up well when compared to them in terms of quality, in terms of features, and attention to detail. And to be fair, I kind of prefer it. So it's not for everyone, but it is meant for those of you that want something special and you don't mind paying more for that. Though, one lucky person will skip the paying part because, as I said at the start of this video, I will be giving away this whole system to one of you guys globally. So if you want to get a chance to win this i9-3900KF system with an RTX 4080, do check the description down below because all the details, all the links, and everything that you need to know will be listed down there. And if you don't end up winning it and you really want this exact PC, and you happen to live in the Netherlands, you can actually find this complete system with a very cool name listed at Azerty, which is one of our local retailers. Anyway, that was it for now, and since this video was not sponsored by MSI, let's check out the actual sponsor. This video was brought to you by Corsair and their Elite LCD XT coolers. These premium all-in-one water coolers combine excellent performance with a fully customizable LCD screen that can showcase anything you have in mind. With a low noise pump and the AF Elite fans, they can easily keep up with the latest and hottest of processors out there while keeping your system quiet. You can install them on a variety of sockets, including the latest Intel and AMD ones, and once the installation is complete, you can use the iQ software to control the RGB effects or sync them with the rest of your Corsair gear. Check them out using the links in the description below. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it and you want to see more videos like this one, do consider clicking that subscribe button, because that way you will never miss my future uploads and maybe possible giveaways. I wish you all good luck, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!